Davina Beecham, a 37-year-old artist and mother of 2 young boys, always knew that her older son, Brad, was special.
When he was 5, he and a friend, Max, were sitting in the back seat of my car, and Max was telling Brad how this kid on the playground was bullying him and stepping on his hands and saying mean things to him. And Brad looked to Max and said, "Max, you should be one with your fears. Because if you're not one with your fears, then your fears will conquer you."
But 2 years ago, when Brad was 6, his teachers told Davina that his behavior in class was getting in the way of his studies.
His first grade teacher told me she wanted to get some testing done because he couldn't get his classwork done, and he knew the answers, but he would just doodle during time when he had to sit there and focus and do his own work.
Brad's teachers gave him an exam called the WISC test, on which he performed very well, except when it came to the behavioral section.
They noted that he was lying down on the chair, he was upside down in the chair. He complained that the light was flickering, that the heater was making too much noise. So they suggested that we get him formally tested.
Brad's teachers used the Connor Scale, a tool for determining attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, which asks a variety of behavioral questions.
Does the child focus? Is he distractible? Does he distract other children? What his energy level is? All those sorts of questions. And he clearly was ADHD. I was relieved because now we could get him some help.
And for Davina, the description of Brad's behavior sounded very familiar.
Brad's behavior reminded me a lot of my own behavior as a child, except for Brad was hyper and I was not hyper.
As an adult, Davina continued to experience an inability to focus.
I would go out to my studio when the kids were in school, and I'd squirt paint on my palette, and I'd sketch in a painting and then start it but never finish it. And it came to the point where I had about 50 unfinished paintings in my studio.
As Davina sought treatment for Brad, she tried to figure out her own condition. She eventually found Dr. Edward Hallowell, who confirmed that she too had attention deficit disorder, but she was not hyperactive.
It sort of verified everything in my life that had been the things that didn't make sense.